Hey guys, Marsningen here, and today I'm bringing you another episode of my how-to series showing you how you can run the mono, extreme and super teams without pulling the 120 leader yourself. Today's episode is going to be extreme INT without your own Kid Buu. So we are using the Dokkan Awakened Dabura from the barbershop. The Dokkan Awakened units from the barbershop essentially become equivalent to the old 70% god leaders. Obviously if you do have him, Buuhan is the ideal leader for this team, but I try not to use the most optimal units, try and use the free to play variants where possible, just to show that these events can be done with the slightly less overpowered teams. There's a few free to play units on every team like this that I showcase, so we'll jump into the fight here and I will go through the team quickly just to show you who we've got. And we are taking on the merged Zamasu event, since it's one of the events for the current Realm of the Gods sort of special event, and he is mainly tech. So let's jump into this here. So obviously we have the friend Kid Buu. I managed to find a pretty decent one. Obviously, especially when you're running a less optimal team, you always want to try and find a really good friend. This is the Dabura from the barbershop. As you can see, his leader skill is equivalent to Buuhan with the 3 key and 70% stats. His passive is that he gives 2 key to int types, and he has a great chance of giving attack and defense plus 30%. So he's a good support unit. We bought the Selza from the recent Fusions banner, which was GSSR, so potentially you'll have been able to pull this guy. I've heard good things about him. I've not tried him out much myself. He can hit fairly hard. He has some alright extreme character links. He also gives himself an attack and defense boost, and then he has a high chance of an extra attack boost, and also a high chance of recovering 10% HP at the start of the turn, which is pretty nice. We've got the Buu Piccolo Absorbed, who is a fairly decent supporter because he heals when he deals damage, and he's obviously free to, well, I say free to play. He comes from a very common SR that you'll see on banners quite a lot and awakens with the Buuhan medals. Then we've got Turles because he's a great support unit, free key, and an attack boost to allies, plus he has a high chance to stun. Then we have this Possessed Trunks from one of the GT story events. He's there essentially because he is also a support unit that gives 3 key. He also gives a defense boost. Because the biggest problem with Extreme INT, even if you're running pretty much an optimal team, is that Kid Buu essentially has no good key links at all. So you're going to struggle to super depending on what your rotations are, even with the perfect setup. So all of our floating support units are going to be key givers. And then we have Janemba because he is the tank god. He was a featured unit on the recent Janemba banner when the Gogeta Janemba event happened. So if you were like me, you probably pulled a couple of copies of him in your quest to get the strength one. So let's get started here. Well, what we're going to try and do is we're going to have our rotations be Janemba and one of the Kid and the Buu Piccolo. Right, now we're going to put the Piccolo Absorb Buu with Kid Buu because obviously they share a lot of the margin links. And then we are going to have the Selza with the Janemba because they link pretty well. They're probably 2 of the better units, and because we want the other units to be our floats. So we're going to have to float off Dabura eventually, but just for the sake of the links here, we'll leave him on. The first stage is physical, which obviously means we have type disadvantage, which is not ideal. But the rest of the event will be tech, and we should be able to get our way through this fairly easily. Plus Janemba's in the front here, and he tanks with type advantage against all types. So pretty lucky that he's the one taking a super attack straight away. So that's not too bad at all. Dabura coming in here. I think mine's super attack 4, just from the odd few SR Daburas that you pull here and there. But other than that, he doesn't really have much work put into him. So yeah, they get a pretty decent attack boost, and we've fortunately got these purples here, so Kid Buu can super. Kid Buu restores HP when he super attacks, so he is a very good unit for keeping you alive in some of these events. We can't get a super attack with Celzo, which is a little bit annoying, but that's okay. Another super attack straight away, but at least we're going to get a chance to recover some HP. 88k, wow. But yeah, so friend Kid Buu is about plus 4,000 in the dupe system, so he can crit. It's not bad damage. You see, we gained a little bit of health back there. We'll also gain a little bit of health back from him. Oh, and he gets an additional, so that's going to be even more health back. I think he is a decent unit for this team if you don't have all the optimal choices. I use him when I run Extreme Int, and obviously, as you see there, with a dupe in him and the potential to get additionals, he can get you some extra health back, which is definitely nice. So we're going to have Janemba tank those hits there, then Turles comes in with a chance to stun, and then Dabura is also going to come in. So if Turles takes a super attack, we can potentially take about 100,000 damage, but Janemba is going to tank at the front, so I think we should be okay. So we should be able to just go ahead here. Yeah, Janemba's taking double digits from those attacks. Hopefully Turles can get the stun after Zamasu's done attacking. Can he get it? High chance. No, and he's going to get a super attack for it, so 71k, that's not bad. Mine has some dupe system work in him. I think he's got one dupe, which is still pretty good. And yeah, this is the kind of rotation that we want on this team, because it's so hard for them to super. So we've got Trunks here, giving them 3 key and some extra defense. So we'll use a Princess Snake just to recover some health. Kid Buu super will recover the rest of the health that we need. And then after he takes some hits, the Piccolo Absorbed Buu will recover some more health for us as well. So Extreme Int is definitely a team that's good at keeping itself alive. Especially if you do also have the Buhan, because he has that passive where he heals you a little bit for each orb that you collect. A nice big hit there from Kid Buu. Takes barely any damage in return. So can this Buu get a crit? He does. So he takes him out, gets some more health back for us, and so we should be on full health, I think, going into this next phase. Yep. So let's have... So yeah, they share some good links together, so we'll put them like that. Just grab one for him, those for him, and see, I do want to make sure we've got key for Kid Buu, but Dabura is on the next rotation, so let's grab those, because we do want Turles to super, since he does have that good chance of stunning. So it's definitely good to... We do have type advantage, but it's always good to have the enemy stunned, so we don't have to take huge amounts of damage. Other options for the team would include Shenron from the first stage of the old Omega event. I believe he lowers attack. It's either part of his passive or from his super attack, I can't remember, but he's not the worst choice. He's not a great unit, but obviously because he's free to play, he's fully farmable up to super attack 10. And some dupe paths as well if you want. He's not the best free to play unit, so there are definitely a lot of arguments for not putting orbs into free to play units, and he's not the best. But obviously you have to work with what you've got, and at least he has some utility since he lowers attack. So we're going to come in with Kid Buu. This should be a nice big hit with the type advantage. Let's see what he can do. So yeah, over 1 million damage without a crit. So we're on to the final stage. It's one of the only stages, I think, at the moment for Global. There might be another one on JP now, but it's still one of the only events where he can actually super attack you twice in one turn. So we're going to have this guy at the front, and then he can grab those. So we've got a nice big cluster of greens for the next turn. So, well, actually no, because if we grab the greens with Trunks, that'll drop down some of the purples. And we've got Turles on rotation with them next turn, so they're going to have plenty of key. Janemba eats the super attack, which is ideal. 27k is not bad. 5k on the normal attack. Janemba gets a crit. Yeah, I think I pulled so many Janembas from the strength banner before I got the strength Janemba that my int one has all of his paths open. I just need more int orbs, and I also pulled a lot of the feeder Janembas, so I need to work on leveling them up to get the int 1 super attack to 10. Since he's a unit that you don't really focus on damage, I hadn't used Kaiser or anything on him beforehand, so he's literally just at super attack 1. So they can grab those. Turles is going to have plenty of orbs left, so he can super. Kid Buu is going to gain us back a load of health. So yeah, you can see this team has a lot of potential for healing. So in an event like this where you've got type advantage. Oh wow. Another huge crit from Kid Buu. And this is kind of the point of this series, to show you that as long as you have a fairly decent leader and some decent units, a lot of the time the friend leader can carry you through the event, because overall the 190% stat increase that you're getting from both leaders combined is more than enough to take out most events. And so there we go. Extreme Int takes down Zamasu. And that's going to be it for this video, guys. This has been the Masked Ningen. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like and subscribe for more regular Dokkan Battle content. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at the Masked Ningen, and feel free to tweet me any good summon pulls or ideas on themes or teams that you want to see. And I will see you again soon.